I want you guys to know that Delores Elder-Jones has been one of my mentors. I met her when I was in sixth grade, right?
Yeah.
Yep, sixth grade. So elementary school in Memphis, Tennessee. And she was our charm teacher, our charm school teacher, which was great. And she would come in after school. She wasn't one of the regular teachers at the school, so she'd come in after school and talk to us about posture and brushing our hair 100 strokes at night and how to brush our teeth. I mean, all kinds of cutesy stuff like that. And us little scrappy girls, we got into it. Some of us anyway. And do you remember, Delores? I was always the one that talked too much, and I had to put the book on my head and walk around in circles in the cafeteria. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but talking too much about you.
Yeah, that's right. So I seized opportunities, and so that's our topic tonight. We're talking about seizing opportunities, and I thought about your life, Delores, and all the things that you've done. And of course, you can't tell us everything, right now. But
of course not.
No, of course not. But we can talk about a few of those. I wanted first to hear you say something about kind of where you started. You were telling me a story about being your dad's favorite and cleaning the weeds around cotton. So can we just start there please?
Well, you know what? Nobody would even understand that unless they knew how old I am. So.
Okay. If you want to put that out there.
I don't mind, because when you're talking about cotton, clean the weeds around cotton, they haven't done that in years. They've used machines now. But that was one of the ways we earned extra money during those days. And I started when I was almost 9 years old. I was like 8 years old for real. I was actually too young to chop cotton. And you don't chop cotton, you chop the weeds around the cotton so that the cotton will grow freely. And I went to the field and I made a lot of money doing that, for my school clothes and everything.
Oh, so. Good. So what's a lot of money? Tell if you can remember.
Of course I can remember. It was $3 a day.
And that was some good change. That was a good piece of change.
Again, you got to remember how old I am.
I ain't saying nothing.
So yeah, well, I don't care about telling my age, because I'm really, really excited because I'm still here.
That's right. Well, okay, put it out there then. How old are you?
I'm 80 years old this year.
Woo! I know nobody believe that one.
Yeah, they do. I mean, yeah, they do. They believe it.
Okay. So anyway, so you were doing something with the cotton, and because we can't really put that in context, can you tell us, like, how did that happen? Your mom would drop you off at a cotton field, or what?
No. There would be a cotton bus. An independent driver with a bus or a truck that would pick up groups of people to go to the cotton fields every day. And the cotton fields were usually between 50 and 100 miles from where we lived. So we'd get up we'd get there to meet the bus about 3 o'clock in the morning so that we could eventually get there in the fields about 7. We'd stop at the store on the way, to get our lunches if we didn't bring our own lunches or whatever, and then go on to the cotton field. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you say you were too young to pick. So if you weren't picking it, what were you doing?
No, I wasn't picking. Picking is during in the fall, and I was in school during that time. So it was saying chopping cotton, but you really weren't chopping cotton. You were chopping the weeds around the cotton.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so I didn't start that. I started as a water girl because I was too little to the hoe. Okay, you know what the hoe is? The long rake that you use to cut the weeds with. Anyway, I was too short to hold that at first.
Yeah.
So they made me a water girl, and the water bucket was too heavy to carry, so I had to carry a half a bucket of water around. When I first started, that's what I did. I carried a half a bucket of water around to all the people in the field. And you know what, we talk about germs nowadays. Jesus, I think about that. Do you know everybody drank out that same dipper?
Really?
It
All
was
right.
it was one dipper, and everybody, you take it around to each person in the field, and everybody drank out of that one dipper. You know what is this?
Okay.
Woo, I'm
Okay.
thinking about that right now.
They, well, they probably had very strong constitutions as a result of that, right? They had a lot of antibodies in their system.
No, they
Woo!
wanted, they needed water.
Yeah, that's right. It didn't matter. They needed water. Okay, so I know your cotton weeding experience was rather limited, so we know that. So you went on, and I know you graduated from high school. But
Yes.
let's talk about some of these opportunities that kind of came to you. I know at one time you worked for a celebrity. How did that work? How did that ever happen?
You don't want to know how that happened. Seriously.
Oh, oh,
But
oh, no.
anyway, it
But
was
tell us what you want us to know.
it was Isaac Hayes. I mean, a lot of people remember him, and if they saw his episode on what was the name of the channel, TV1, they had a
Okay.
series called Unsung, and
Uh-huh.
if they noticed that, I was in that program a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, I started out because of cutting his hair in his studio, and
Hmm.
I
Now, when
did.
did Isaac Hayes ever have hair?
He grew hair.
Oh, he did grow some hair?
Oh, absolutely. He started growing hair, and what had happened when he was in high school, I
Hmm.
thought he sang like Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
You know, Nat King Cole had the process, what they call the conk, right? And
Hmm.
Isaac got his hair fixed like that for an event they had at their high school. And when it grew back out, because you know that was when you know what happens when we get a relaxer and the hair grows out, it's nappy at the roots. Well, his got nappy at the roots, and he couldn't afford to get it fixed, so he had to cut it all off.
Okay.
All off, so because he couldn't comb his hair,
Okay.
so
Okay.
he shaved his head, and that felt good to him. So he
Uh-huh.
decided that he would wear it bald from then on.
And so then that led you to a permanent job with Isaac Hayes, the
No,
songwriter, composer. No.
no, that didn't lead me to it because I didn't even know him when that happened. He was in high school.
Oh, uh-huh.
But remember, one of my earliest career fields, I was a licensed master barber.
Okay.
And Isaac was a very, very good friend of mine. So he invited me over to Stax Recording Studio when he got his first gold record, the
Okay.
one for Hot Buttered Soul. And when he invited me over there, he asked me if, he said, "You've never seen one of my live performances, have you?" And I had not, even though we
Yeah.
were friends with something because they were all out of town, right?
Yes,
So he
yes.
said, yes. And he said, asked me if I wanted to go to see a show on the road. I said, of course. And
Right.
he paid my airfare and hotel bill and everything. And I went to Chicago.
Hmm.
I'll tell you, we were at McCormick Center, I believe it was, in Chicago. And we stayed at a hotel called Intercontinental. I had never lived at a hotel like that, where the waiters come into your room to serve you and put towels over their arm and all that good stuff.
La di da.
Yeah, that was the first time I had Chateaubriand. and,
Uh-huh.
and I had Don Perignon champagne, and it was just
Mm.
exciting. So, and when we went to the gig at McCormick Place, Isaac came out on stage, and I mean, of course, I'm standing backstage. Well, when he came out on stage, the crowd went wild, and I had to put my hand on my. Oh my God! Are they talking about my Isaac?
He was a celebrity. Yes.
and I mean, and it went on for a while as he did his dance to, his little walk on thing that he did to the music.
Yeah.
And when we got back to the hotel that night, I said, "Hey, Bubba," we called him Bubba. I said, you know what? You out here with all these people and you getting your hair cut. I said, I need to be coming out here and cutting your hair because you got bumps all the way around your head. He did. He had those little old razor bumps that you know how men do.
Yeah, right. Because
When they
yeah,
shave.
it wasn't being done professionally.
Yeah. And so,
Hmm.
um, so that's what happened. I started at the studio because it was
Yeah.
during the time when he was working on a new album or something, but he had a lot of business to take care of. And
Hmm.
boy, was he excited because his office was red and black. And I bought chair cloths that were red and black and had red towels. And oh, he just ate all of it.
Oh. Hmm. So that was a great opportunity for you. I imagine you met a lot of interesting people and all of that, right?
Yeah, I met a lot of interesting people before I even went on the road. But when I
Hmm.
went on the road with him, you'd be surprised as the people I mean, I really, really met and
Hmm.
were on first name basis with people like Sammy Davis Jr. You know,
Hmm.
I met Lucille Ball,
Hmm.
Dick Gregory, I could just name on and on and on. But I mean, these were people that during the years that I was with Isaac, knew me as Big D.
Right.
And that's what everybody called me, Big D, because I was like the mama figure on the road.
Even though you were a young woman. So
In my 40s, yeah.
tell me, Dolores, as you were meeting these people, were you learning anything from them that you thought would be helpful to you later in life, or maybe even at that time? Because this was a lot of exposure for you. You know, you're a young woman, youngish woman, from a small town, smaller town.
Yeah,
So,
it was exposure for me, but I taught them more than they taught.
oh, is that so? Somehow
Remember,
I'm not surprised.
remember, this was after your charm class, okay?
Oh, okay. So you already had it all together. Okay.
No, but it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of things, especially about how people with money spend money and how, I mean, I'm serious. I used to tip room service and waiters in restaurants more money than I earned. you know,
Wow.
and so
Uh-huh.
and I did learn a lot of things about how the people with money live and what it was all about. And I mean,
Uh-huh.
I looked at them and I listened to them, and you know what? A lot of them were miserable.
Miserable in what sense? Because oftentimes we think if people have money, then all the problems are solved. You don't really have any issues.
No, but a lot of people had money, but you also realize that those people had a lot of people that hit on them for that money too. You know,
Okay.
I mean, a lot of them had. I mean, Isaac had people even come out the woodwork that he had never family he had never even known. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Once you become famous and people know you got money, well, of course they're gonna say, "Well, you remember me when?" And that's
Yeah.
it didn't make a
Yeah.
lot of. But then a lot of other than Isaac had love all around him, but uh,
Yes.
and because I'm gonna tell you something, he hired everybody on his staff was somebody other than a few people was somebody he went to school for. His whole security staff was schoolmates, and you know what? He would spend most of the time hiding from them. He didn't want them.
Hiding from security.
Yeah, and security, they'd be trying to keep him safe, and he would be hiding from them.
Well, and so it sounds like that was a fun time. And I guess that wasn't for a very long period in your life. How long did you do that?
That was for 8 years. That
Eight
was a
years?
pretty good, yeah,
Okay.
that was a good long time. And during that time,
Hmm.
excited to say that one of the benefits is that I got a chance to travel. Not just we went to every state in the United States, but then we went overseas a lot too. I mean, I'd gone to Europe several times
Hmm.
before I even knew it. Africa, I mean, been just everywhere. So
Uh-huh. So that was a good opportunity. And your children traveled with you too, didn't they,
I,
sometimes?
yeah, he was a family man. So in the summer when school was out, some of the kids would go with their parents to other locations, and so
Hmm.
I took mine. One time we had a gig in Hawaii that was only for a week and 2 nights, really,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
he let us stay over there almost 2 weeks. No,
Oh, that was wonderful, and he paid everything. That was really definitely a special opportunity. Let's talk about maybe another opportunity in your life. My focus of my YouTube channel is around resilience and just empowering people to find their path to their purpose,
yeah,
whatever their passion is. Because a lot of times, as you well know, we're working, we're doing whatever it is we're supposed to do, and then at some point in life, early or later, we think, this isn't really right. I feel so empty and I'm bored,
yeah,
and a lot of times I think it's because people aren't pursuing their passion, whether it's on a volunteer basis, whether it's on a part-time basis or full-time. But I think you really do have to connect with what's meaningful to you in order to truly be happy. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that. In every quote job that I've had, was one that I either created or I added to after I got it. I didn't I didn't punch a clock until I got, I think 30 something years old.
Okay.
I'd been on the road with Isaac actually. And after he went bankrupt, and I took a job. You know, e-
Hmm.
every job, like I said, that I had was something, and it was something that I wanted to do.
Hmm.
That's very important when people are trying to find out what their life paths will be. They
Yeah.
have to select things that they want to be. Remember, when I started with Isaac, I was a licensed hairstylist, a barber. Well, it was a tonsorial expert, and
Oh.
yes, that's what I was. I mean, right now I can say this, but I was working at a barber shop that had all mostly it was a predominantly white barber shop. Uh,
Hmm.
that I mean had all white customers. And
Hmm.
I wanted to learn that because my goal was how to cut white folks hair, because my goal was to eventually go to Hollywood and be a hairstylist on locations.
I love it. You got to have goals. You have to have dreams.
You have to imagine something. I mean, I would see all these people on thing, and I'm in there saying, I can do that, I can do that. And you have to, whenever you say you can do that, you have to prepare yourself so that you can really do it. And I'm fortunate enough to know that I really did do it, because when I was a barber, I was one of the first hairstylists in Memphis, Tennessee that did European razor cuts. That was a razor cuts and blow drying hairstyle that they didn't do back then. That was
Yes.
during the Elvis Presley days, and I didn't have Elvis as a customer, but his dad, Gene Presley, was one of our customers.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now, also, I think you told me that you went to college at some point, but not early on, not right after high school.
Oh Jesus, no. What happened? Okay, let me tell you how I got to that point. Isaac went bankrupt, and when Isaac went bankrupt, that means I had to go back to the barber shop. Okay, I've lived this glamorous life, riding limousines and living in big hotels and traveling all over the world. And who wants to go back behind a barber chair? But I had to earn a living, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Uh-huh.
I did go back to that barber chair. But one of my customers was an executive at the Memphis Housing Authority.
Hmm.
And when he came in one day, I'm not going to call his name because, well, I'm not ashamed to say that you use what you use to get where you need to go. He was one of my customers. Yeah, you do. And I mean, this is something that, some other folks.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have to go into that too much. Yeah, we
Okay,
just skip that
what
part.
happened was when he came in that day, I asked him if he had some jobs down there for
Uh-huh.
me.
Uh-huh.
He was asking me about my education. I said, oh, shit, I ain't never been to college. Is that what you're talking about? But I've got a vast amount of world experience.
Yes.
So he said, well, okay, I'm going to send my secretary down there with some job descriptions, and you just tell me what you want to do. He said
Oh.
he gave me 3 job descriptions. One was a family services counselor, a family services supervisor, and a homemaker. Now, I know first off the bat, I didn't want to be a homemaker because I didn't like cleaning up my own house. Okay. I didn't want to, I couldn't be a supervisor because I didn't know what the hell a counselor was about. But I read the job description for a family services counselor, and I said, well, I can do this. I've been doing this. It was helping people. And this is what I've been doing up until that time. You know that. And so what happened was I had my interview with the guy who was over social services at that time. And he said, well, as far as I'm concerned, you're hired. He said, but you're going to have an interview with the master degree social worker who doesn't know anything about this arrangement this afternoon at 2 o'clock. So that was about 10 o'clock in the morning. So at 10 o'clock in the morning, after I left him, I went to the library down on Front Street. You know where the big library, the main library was. And that was a set of books called ARCO. ARCO had books on all kinds of career fields. And I found the one on social work. Well, honey, when I came back at 2 o'clock, I was a professional social worker. So
I have no doubt.
She asked
seizing
me,
an opportunity. That's what you were doing. Seizing an opportunity.
Wait a minute, let me tell you how I did. So I tell you how to get into college. So she asked me about everything because first of all, on my application, I'm not afraid to tell about it now. I lied. I told them that no, I didn't have a degree, but I had 75 hours, and that I had worked at a social service agency in New York City, and it had gone, defunct. It was belly up. They lost all their money, and I had gone to this college where they couldn't find out nothing, no way, because anyway, they couldn't find out nothing on me, but anyway, so I got the job. So when this chick came back that afternoon to interview me, she asked me why did I want to be a social worker. I had learned one word that day that took the whole thing off of them. I told her, I said, well, when people need social work, a social worker's intervention, they have some dysfunction.
Oh, you knew the word dysfunction.
Okay. I found the word dysfunction. I said, and so if they have some dysfunction, I don't know if it's educationally, socially, whatever, there is somebody that needs to guide them in the right direction, and that's why I want to work for you. So she ate it up.
I love it. There was that and your smile. Okay, go ahead.
She didn't end up being my supervisor. I was really assigned to somebody else. And the first day I went on the job, she asked me what I knew, about social work and stuff like that. I said, well, I know a great deal about it, but you know what? I'm coming to a new facility. So you teach me the way you want things done. And that's how I do it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what she did. She taught me. I said I would do it exactly. And you know what? I could write well, and because I was an avid reader early on.
Yes.
She taught me what they would do, and we ended up getting state awards for our write-ups and stuff like that. They end up using
excellent.
as examples of how to do progress and summary notes correctly.
So once you got that opportunity, you just made the best of it, learned as much as you could and read and to make it successful.
I learned, as a matter of fact, when we had to go on go to other agencies, they thought I was a master's degree social worker. I never did tell them anything.
You never told them any different.
But okay, here I am with all these people with degrees, and I have never even set my foot in a college except to go to my sister's graduations, right? Anyway, so what happened was I created a program on campus because there were so many illiterate people. And I didn't know that people just couldn't learn. And I didn't believe they couldn't learn. So what I did is created a program. It wasn't exactly a GED program, but I contacted the psychology department at Memphis State then.
Yes.
And I tried to find out if they had a program where students could come out and actually see if my clientele could learn. If that was their holdup of if it was something else. And then the professor who was over the problem, he just happened to be over the psychology department. He asked me, he said, "Are you doing this for one of your for a grade? Is this one of a program that you're creating?" I said, "Not really." He said, "Well, you should because it's really, really good." And I went right then and I enrolled in Memphis State in 1101 English and a
Uh-huh.
4500 psychology degree program. So,
Wow.
and
That is,
I was on the dean's list so long I thought I was really smart.
well, you were really smart. And how old were you when you went to college?
I was 37. The fall of 37. I was 37. Yeah, when I started.
So would you say to people out there that are working and never went to college, they put it off, whatever the issue may be, that don't give up that dream, just go on and do it.
Well, yeah, I would do that because first of all, if I had not gone out on the road and Isaac had never gone bankrupt and I didn't want to get behind a barber chair again because I'd been exposed to so much worldly stuff, I
Uh-huh.
would have been exposed. So everything, you know what, Denise, I'm guided by divine intervention. If I tell you, if people think I'm lying, every step that I take, the very next step that I take is so good I have to pinch myself. You know,
Yes.
and it's something that I've not experienced, but I created, hey, I want to do this. And
Yes.
when I want to do it, I do it. And this is what I tell everybody. Don't let nothing hold you back. Don't let nobody tell you that you cannot do anything because you're looking at a person that's done. If I tell you everything I'd ever done in my life, you wouldn't even believe it.
Yeah, well, you're right. I might not, but since I've known
You
you
know
for
just
so
about.
long, since sixth grade, I probably will believe it. But you know what? We are almost at 30 minutes, so I'm going to have to cut you off. I know time went fast, but
Yeah.
Delores, what I want to do is really invite you back to really just kind of continue on this journey. And if you're interested in seeing Delores again, please, by all means, send me comments and feedback. Um, Go to my social media. Follow me on author Denise Hollingsworth. My YouTube channel right now is author Denise Hollingsworth. You got that, Delores?
Are we on YouTube? Are we on YouTube?
Actually, we're not on YouTube right now. I'll post this on YouTube
So we
a
on
little bit
Facebook now,
later,
right?
maybe tomorrow. So, but it's on Facebook Live. And I need you to subscribe to my channel and also help me get a name for my channel because right now it's just author Denise Hollingsworth. So
Well,
I
no,
need something more catchy than that, right?
yeah, yeah, it's cute. It's cute though. I like that. Author
Yeah,
Denise.
it's a little long though. It's a little long.
Yeah.
Lawrence, we're going to say goodbye to you right now, and then I'm going to just talk a little tiny bit more, and we're going to end our broadcast at 30 minutes. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome, and I'll be glad to come back anytime.
All right, you take it easy.
All right. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Yes, so this was my first interview, and I hope you got something from it. Again, Dolores is a person that's really done a whole lot of different things, as you see, but she was seizing opportunity always to enhance her life, and she believed that she could do it, and she did it. So this is just an example of what you can do as well, and many other people I'll be interviewing as time goes on will also tell you the same thing. You find a way, and also it helps to be prepared. So when the opportunity presents itself, you can grab it. You can seize the opportunity. So until next time.